So the other thing that is challenging about trying to switch careers in this way is where I come from anyway, is that art is not really featured as strongly where I live as it is in other Caribbean islands. Yes, we have people who are doing it, but there are not many of them. And certainly nobody's talking about how they moved from doing one thing into the other. A couple of these ladies have always done it, but nobody's talking about the others who have had careers before that were not necessarily related to visual arts. I'm not talking about how they made the change, what they felt when they were making the change, if they felt imposter syndrome, how they worked through imposter syndrome, how did they begin to earn a living, a sustainable living from doing this 100% of the time. So for me, it feels like uncharted territory, really. And there's a lot of fear around it. And a lot of people, friends and family, who are probably thinking, what the hell did you do? Like, you just left your job full time like that to go and do art? You're nuts. And they're well-meaning people, you know, but there's something to be said about spending as much time and effort as I had been spending on a career that was not based on helping anybody to grow or learn. Somebody like me who's not married and who doesn't have kids, you know, work is where I spend my time and energy. If I'm blessed enough to be able to come to an age where I get to sit down and think about how I spent my life, I don't know how I would feel about saying, oh, I was a very good event planner and manager at this company for how many years. I don't think I would feel good about that. Although I am the first to say that it was an experience that taught me a hell of a lot, where I learned a hell of a lot, not just about the industry, but in terms of life. But I think it's time to move on. I support myself, so there's not a whole lot of scaffolding to hold me up as I make the transition from one thing to the other, and that's scary. And most of the time I've been fine with it, walking in fear but still walking forward and feeling okay, you know, like I'm managing fine. But yesterday and today I have had to really stave off feelings of panic, and sometimes I wasn't able to. Like, sometimes I was like in full-blown panic mode. Panic. And nothing has changed. It's not like anybody died. It's not like I'm blowing my savings and I'm worried up that I don't have money. But I've been letting my mind go, you know, so far into the future that I'm thinking not good things. I'm thinking, oh, what if I don't sell a painting, or, you know, enough to at least be able to make up a chunk of the money that I need to live sustainably in this way. Thinking about the adjustments that I might have to make, which I've already thought about, but I don't need to think about actioning right now. And I'm spending all this time and energy thinking about how I'm going to action these things that I may or may not even need to actually move forward with, you know. And all it's doing is it's just taking up a lot of mental space and energy that I would rather not spend. But some people in the spiritual world feel like these things come up so that they can be purged out. And I've certainly done a lot of purging today. Purging fear. And what I realize is actually imposter syndrome. And then there was the whole thought process that ensued after that. I'm like, I have imposter syndrome. I have imposter syndrome about being an artist, where I'm so talented. I produce such great work, and I don't have imposter syndrome about being an event planner and manager for all these years and having had to learn how to do that. That wasn't something that came natural to me at all. As a matter of fact, there's nobody worse at planning their life than me. I've learned to plan events and plan these things for clients, but not for myself because I just don't have an affinity for it naturally. So it's wild to me to think that I have imposter syndrome about doing something that I've been gifted such a great talent for, and not for other things that I've had to learn to do. My name is Sabrina Warner. I'm an artist. Um, I'm an artist. I have been painting for many years off and on. I actually went to university to study visual arts, and I was blessed enough to be able to paint during the pandemic and hold on to a good portion of my savings by earning money selling my art during that time. My art, having before the pandemic, I wasn't dedicating a whole lot of time to art just because of the demands of the event world then. I just didn't have the time or the energy, and I did not dedicate a whole lot of time to doing that. But when I went to do it during the pandemic, it's like my work had improved so much, and I don't have a reason about why it would have improved so much, because it's not like I was practicing or painting. And I will see you again. Bye.